Welcome to It's Your Business, a program designed to highlight our local small businesses who participate in contracting and procurement opportunities at Houston City College. I'm your host, Veronica Douglas. Today, we're joined by Nilo Cues, Commercial Business Development Director with PuroClean, a leader in property restoration and emergency services. With a strong focus on building community partnerships and helping businesses and homeowners recover from unexpected disasters, Nilo plays a key role in connecting people to the resources they need when it matters most. His work centers on preparedness, rapid response, and guiding clients through some of the most challenging situations they can face. Welcome, Nilo. It is such a pleasure having you on It's Your Business.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me and thank you for inviting me. I'm very glad to be here.
So, for those who may not know, what exactly does PuroClean do?
So we are experts in the property damage. Nobody's expecting anything to happen at their home, but a home or a commercial building is like a body, like a person's body. So you never expect to get, to go to the doctor or get, a cold, but it happens. So we have like us humans, we have from cold all the way to you need surgery for something. Buildings the same way, property the same way. They have little colds, that is, a little bit things leaking, or the dishwasher drops some water, and that's what we do, to all the way to a hurricane passed by my house, and now I don't have a master bedroom. Then we also work on that. And just like us, we cannot be replaced as easy, right? We have to repair ourselves. We repair. So you don't have to, the build, the commercial property or, the property that gets damaged is not trash, it can be repaired. That's what we do. We make sure we repair it. That's why they call us the paramedics of property damage.
It's funny you say that because I was doing some research online about PuroClean and I did see your slogan listed. I love that.
Yeah,
So,
well, I always tell the people, like, our customers, you know, when you get sick, you go to the doctor. You don't want to go to Home Depot and just get somebody there to help you with your health, right? It's the same thing here. We always go and inspect things, and tell you what is the best way to proceed with what is the symptom you have. And then from there, we take logical, corrections. We don't do everything, right? Sometimes we have to bring other experts like electrical people, plumbers, or HVAC. So, but at least we give you a very accurate, symptom of what you have, what is really happening.
so give us a quick look at your role as the business development director. What does a typical day look like in the restoration world?
So it's meeting a lot of people. So my typical day is go and meet and greet a lot of people. Normally people that owns property. It depends. It can be like I told you, from a house to commercial buildings, or people that maintain this property. So I go and meet them. I talk to them. They tell me what problems they think they have, or what maintenance they think is going to be happening, and those are things that those are the conversation I'm having. Then at the end of the day, either I follow up with emails, or I also, contact my operations team so they get, service of what people need. That's kind of my typical day.
So, what drew you into the restoration industry?
Actually, it's very funny. Before this, I was doing catering. I was selling catering, B2B catering, for mainly for, corporations that had meetings and stuff. And during COVID, it was like there was no orders, there was no business because nobody was at the office, so the office didn't need food. So I didn't have any, orders. So one time a person called me and they needed like 1,000 people, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we were like, oh, wow, okay, what is this? And for a week. And we might need it for a couple of weeks. So when we went there were people, restoring a property. And I was like, that's 1,000 people that were working on it. And it was a big project. And we told them, what do you guys do? So at that point, we explained us, and they were not even from here. They were from California, working here on something. And we were like, this is a great business. So that's what made us transfer to that. And that's how I started in that business.
So, there are a lot of restoration companies out there. What sets
Mhm.
PuroClean apart?
It's all about the customer service. That's one of the things we do very good. Like we always treat everybody as human being, not just like a number. But another thing that sets apart, we're a full integrated company. Like there's a process for when you have property damage. So you get the damage, then normally there are things inside the property, right? Like maybe a couch, maybe a sofa, maybe something. And we have to take those contents and bring them out, clean them, determine if they're good or bad. We can do that as well. Then is the cleaning process, then is the restoration process, and finally the reconstruction processes. We can do the whole process. And that's one thing that sets us apart from many companies that sub things out. We don't sub things out. We have in Houston, Texas, we have 120 employees, which means that we have a lot of people working on the field because most of them are in the field. Probably 80 or 90% of them are field people, and the rest is the office. So a lot of restoration companies you meet, they are like one or two people, or maybe a team of 10 people. When PureClean really is a big company, in Houston, that sets you apart. That's something that is good.
You mentioned customer service. What is your response time typically?
Our response time is normally we guarantee 2 hours or less. We always guarantee 2 hours or less to be in the place, explain you in 4 hours, telling you what you actually have, and in 8 hours give you an estimate of what's gonna happen and how much it's gonna cost. So those are the things that customers love a lot. Now, you don't when you get property damage, you don't always need to have insurance involved. This depends a lot. This is also another thing that we guide you and advise you. Now, if you do have to get involved in insurance for any reason, we guide you to the process. We don't tell you, okay, here's the bill, here's what we're gonna do, and we don't know anything about that. We know about insurance, work with them, and we help you, get that flux of the resources that you will need to do the job. So that's customer service. And most companies don't do that. They don't want to get into the paperwork.
Can you tell us a little bit about the training that the technicians have gone through?
Okay, we have a lot of training. Each one has a card. I don't have my card here, but each one has a card, and you get trained in every trade. Let's say water damage, fire damage, mold, asbestos. Each one of them is a training. We have, I call it the safest place on planet Earth. So Pure Clean headquarters have in Florida, in Tamarack, Florida, they have a warehouse, a big warehouse where inside there's a big house. And this house is like a Disney house, I call it, because you go inside and the hurricane goes in, like it's raining inside and it's wind and it gets on fire. So everything can happen to this house, but it's controlled, so it repeats over and over again. And that's how they get trained. They get trained on how to, deal with aftermath of water damage, fire damage, mold, asbestos, biohazard, also problems. And that's how they get trained. Once they get the physical part of it, or the actual training, they also have to do a test and pass it, and then you get your certification. So all our staff do that. That's another thing about us. Even the person answering the phone have the water damage certification, so that's good because they know what they're talking about.
Wow. So, we live here in Houston and we deal with everything from storms to just, plumbing disasters. What are the most common situations where businesses and homeowners call you?
The most common situations is always something happened. That's why my business is really in the morning is with homeowners. When you leave the house, you let the dishwasher running, the laundry machine running, or maybe the shower running you didn't even know, or your kid went to the restroom, pulled the thing and just get out, and the thing just get going, but you didn't saw it, right? Or something there. So those waters is the most common thing, like coming from the laundry, dishwasher, or toilet, or even like the shower. That's the most common in the morning. Now, the other jobs that happen a lot is in the offices, in commercial buildings or commercial places when the people leave. So it's always after 6 p.m. and always like same thing. Somebody left the toilet, maybe, just draining and nobody noticed. Or somebody, like they were taking water from the machine and it just kept running, nobody saw it. Or somebody left the fridge door open and there's water everywhere because of that. So those are the most common things. Or, well, in schools we had a lot the sprinkler system go on and there's water everywhere because a kid did something or a joke, but things like that happen a lot, and then you call PureClean. But it's always those small things that people think is not gonna happen. Everybody thinks about me mainly for hurricanes and disaster, Believe me, that happens once per year or once every 2 or 3 years, or day to day is more like regular things that happen that is just water somewhere, or small fires. Small fires, I don't know if you know, I am very busy during Christmas and Thanksgiving because a lot of people like to cook in the night. Don't do that. Don't cook and go to sleep because then you set things on fire. Those are things I
Wow.
always tell them.
Wow, this is such great information, Nilo. Let's take a quick break, and then when we return, I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you do repair at the homeowners, as well as some commercial work that you're doing.
For over 50 years, HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on your success. This is your college, growing, evolving, expanding with you. More bachelor's degrees, stronger workforce training, online learning with global reach. A new name, the same mission, bigger vision. Houston City College, local focus, global reach. Register now at hccs.edu.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
When a child is fighting a critical illness, one truth touches us all. Every child deserves a childhood. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. And when we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Become a wish maker today and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
Welcome back. We were going to continue our conversation with Nilo. And Nilo, when we ended, we were talking about some of the things that go wrong in, common situations. And I'm interested to know if Puro Clean can assist with water damaged wood floors.
Yes, we can assist in water damaged wood floors. Now, that is a question that has two answers, right? We can dry them if we arrive in less than 6 hours, or if the person tell us in less than 6 hours, because after that, the wood is more likely gonna absorb all that water and it's gonna have to be, removed and put a new one. But we have a special technology. There are little mats that you put on top of the wood, and then you basically suck the water, and then you inject in another mat hot air so you can dry them.
Why is water damage so dangerous to homeowners as well as businesses?
Well, the way we build houses here are normally we use this thing called sheetrock, right? And this sheetrock absorbs water a lot. So when it absorbs water, it became heavy and breaks. So that's why it's so important. Normally, it's just the way we build. It is changing as the code changes, right? But for example, in my house, the water heater is in the attic. That's very dangerous because if this thing explodes, there's water everywhere. Everything is gonna fall on top of me sleeping, you know. But that is the reality of what they were doing in the 80s, 70s, 90s when they were doing these properties. Same thing in businesses. They put everything above, right? So when it breaks and happens, the other parts start falling. Those ceilings we use a lot in the offices, they cannot carry a lot of water, and that's why it makes a lot of damage. Now, for some reason human beings we like nature stuff, right? Which is good. We don't have plastic like normally in the things that we have in the house have wood, or the desks, even in the office desk, and everything's made of wood. When water touches those things, they're really damaged. So that's why water damage causes a lot of problems here.
So, what are the biggest misconceptions that people have about restoration services?
So everybody, maybe biggest misconception is like they think that once you have a problem, we're gonna get everything new. No, the whole point of restoration is try to save the most of the property we can. We're not gonna demolish the whole place and build a brand new one because it will be more expensive. So we try to save the most. I don't know if just for everybody to know, when you buy an insurance policy for any type of property, you buy it today in 2026 and it's for a certain amount. When you have the damage 10 years later, the policy is not going to change, but guess what? Building back your property change and probably changed twice in those amount of years. So it doesn't make sense that we can, build a brand new place with the policy you have. So that's something that happens very often, and people need to be aware of that. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions they think, is that they will just get everything for free. There's depreciation on things, and also if you get damaged, TVs, a lot of electronic devices, you use them over the time, so you will get a brand new one probably, but it will be maybe 75% of a brand new one, because as things cost more, and your things depreciate, you get paid less. So those are one of the biggest misconceptions. Another thing, I don't know if I can talk about it. People think everybody can do it. That you can watch a YouTube video and I'll do the restoration myself. Yes, there's a lot of things, and YouTube, helps a lot as knowledge to know things. It's actually very good for knowledge to, okay, this is the process, this was going to happen. But to actually restore, it takes certifications and all these things, right? So if you want to get things properly done, you should hire a company. I'm not saying my company, but any company, because you don't really know what you're doing. It's not your real job. And also, if you do it wrong, the consequences can be bad. Either the place can be, the property can be with not, not working properly, and then it falls or something. Or another thing, then comes the mold. And guess what? Mold is a serious danger to our lungs and our life. So people think you can just dry things, but sometimes you apply some chemicals to make sure it's safe, right? So that's why.
So how has the demand for restoration services changed in the recent years? Have you seen a lot more demand in the services because of the way the weather patterns are?
So it has been the last 3 years were a very huge demand. Like the last 3 years, except last year, it was really high demand. We got 2 or 3 years in a row that the United States got hit by hurricanes and floods and fires in California. We were in all of those because we travel a lot. To be honest with you, when a major event happens, like if hurricane gets hit, like with a Katrina or some of these Category 5 hurricanes, there are no enough companies in the country to build back Houston. It's a lot of damage. So that's why we travel. So yes, we have a if the weather keeps changing and we keep getting these events, is there's a high demand, and this happened in the last years. Now, however, last year was a super dry year, meaning nothing really happened, no major hurricanes and things like that, and that's what the demand go down. But I think it's a great time to do maintenance. Not everything has to be like a brand new and destroy and everything. No, do maintenance. And that's how you keep up, the property with some maintenance.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you build trust with your clients who are often dealing with, stressful and unexpected situations?
Well, I think I have developed a how to do it, because believe me, every time I talk to a customer, normally, like I told you, is after hours or they are at work. So they're normally like they're not even at the place, they're stressed and they don't know what's going on. They want to see it, they want pictures. Now in this we have a lot of technology, we can FaceTime and explain them. We do 3D places and everything, so they can see with the link what's going on at the property, how are we advancing and everything. There's even like for commercial properties, we have cameras 24/7. People can see what's going on. But that's how you alleviate that. But the most important thing is to, rely to them and get in their shoes and tell them, hey, I understand what's going on. I know the property is important for you. I know you're having a very bad time, and but we're here to help. Telling them that since right of the gate. Um, like I told you, we're not that restoration company that just come in and give you an estimate, ask for money. We really like try to understand and explain to you the consequences, because when you have a problem in a property, most of the time you cannot use the property for a while, and we need to tell them you're gonna be out of this for 2 3 months until things get back to normal.
So what, industries or organizations do you typically collaborate with, or who have you started collaboration with? I know I met you at the Regional Hispanic Contractors Association, and I often see you at the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. What other, industries or organizations are you partnering with and working with?
Great. Trades. I don't know if you're gonna ask me a question about AI and the future, but trades is one thing that I really think is something I collaborate a lot, and I don't think it's gonna change. You know, as AI cannot do electrical work or plumbing work. Those are the trades that we always collaborate, you know, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. Sometimes specialty contractors, like for example, you talk about wood floor. Wood flooring is a specialty trade that we rather have somebody special on that to do it, you know. And those are specific contractors that we always, you know, try to talk to. Engineering a lot, you know, on the blueprint side and all these too, and permits as well.
So before we take another break, just give us a high level overview of Puro Clean's reach. Is that in Texas? Is it nationwide? How far is your reach?
So actually, Pure Clean, the brand, has 500 locations across the United States. Me personally, in the one I work, we work in the whole Houston area, Greater Houston. You know, that's from us, the Woodlands, all the way to Baytown and even Galveston and all that. And we also have an office in Dallas Fort Worth. Okay, so we can, or that's the ones that if you have any of that, just call me. I have those two places, but we can reach anywhere, you know, in the United States. Now, like I told you, when big events happen or anything, I've been in California, I've been in Louisiana, I've been in Kentucky, I've been in Miami. We go and help anywhere, you know?
Okay, let's take a quick break, and then when we return, maybe you can give us or share with us a story about one of your clients that you have helped through a disaster.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll finish our conversation with Nilo.
HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on success. More degrees, stronger training, global online learning. A new name, the same mission. A bigger vision. Houston City College. Register now at hccs.edu.
Why be at the forefront of childhood cancer research? So Hunter can climb his favorite tree again. But we can't do it without you. Help St. Jude give children with cancer more moments.
Welcome back, and we were finishing up our conversation with Nilo. And Nilo, you were going to tell us about a story where your team made a real difference for one of your clients.
Yes. So I have this story. I mean, I try to not say names, but it was a really famous Houstonian that works in gymnastics, or she's a very famous athlete in gymnastic world and probably got like 11 gold medals on the Olympics, you know. So this person was training for the recent, you know, the Olympics, you know, and they were training here in Houston. I don't know how many people of the team, of the USA team, were training here. And little hurricane hit Houston is Beryl, and the place where they were training, the roof got lift off, so water was going in. Now, these people that train intensive for a competition like the Olympics, they cannot stop, right? They just can't stop. So we got contacted after a couple of companies tried to, you know, they saw the project and they were like, we cannot do it, you know, we cannot do it as fast as we would. So the thing was to get it in 2 weeks up and running so they can train back. At least the main part of where they train. We took the job. We said, yeah, we can do it. So that same day we start trying everything, moving around. We had like a lot of people working over there, you know, like half of our company, and everybody was just like, you know, we got a lot of support from corporate, from you know, from Tamarack Pure Clean. We were on the phone, FaceTiming. We were doing videos and everything. It was a big operation, right? Long story short, they took, I'm not gonna lie, they took probably like 1 day and a half or maybe 2 days of break because we were working, you know, and we had it ready after that. You know, we had it ready. And they went back and continue, you know, training for the Olympics. You know, then we will have to secure and everything because other areas we have to fully rebuild. So we were still working, but the main area where they were training, they were there. So it was great, you know, a great experience, you know, to see and meet this family. They are amazing people, very down to earth. You know, nothing when you meet a celebrity, you don't expect that, and very very cool people. Now they really like me. They keep calling me for other issues they have. You know, another thing we do is plumbing, so they call me for plumbing things, maintenance here and there. And I remember that this person went there. I don't talk to her directly. I talked actually to her mom or her grandma, but I talked to that person a lot because she was dealing with the project because the other person, she cannot be stressed about it. And the coolest thing that happened to me, I remember that's where I knew that they were really happy and grateful that we helped them on that. They sent me a text message like, "Hey, we just we got medals and everything. We're great and we're happy." And then they have a picture with Snoop Dogg, and I was like, "Well, that's the closest thing I've seen to meeting Snoop Dogg." So
I wasn't
it was
expecting
really
you
cool.
to say that. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome.
So that was cool.
So, Neela, tell us in closing, how can people connect with you to learn more about PuroClean and your services?
So you can, like you said, you can go to puroclean.com, search us online, follow us on Instagram, puroclean, see what we post. Nowadays, I mean, we're everywhere. We're even in TikTok. We try to keep it the brand young, and follow us. We have a lot of opportunities for folks, young folks. You want a career, something that is not AI is not gonna take. Get into the trade industry. Get into restoration. I don't think it's going anywhere. If the weather keeps like this, it's gonna stick around. So just go online, search PureClean, talk to us, ask for Nilo. You can leave messages over there. Ask for me. I'll probably even if we can meet. I like meeting people. But if you want somewhere to go, that's a great place to start.
Nilo, thank you for all this information. You are one of our local certified small businesses, and we enjoy all the hard work that you're doing here in our community.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for watching this episode of It's Your Business. For current procurement opportunities or information about the Small Business Development Program, please visit our website at hccs.edu/SBDP. For It's Your Business, I'm your host, Veronica Douglas, and we'll see you next time.
Three,
Charlie,
Four.
you're getting late.
Charlie. Charlie. Hey.
Hey, Invisinerd! Wait!
Things are slow at work.
We can't live like this. We have to do something.